The Atlanta Braves are looking for a series win over the San Francisco Giants, and they've got Chris Sale on the mound to do it. Here's your 15-minute scouting report for today's game. Yes, this is your Braves Today Scouting Report, a production of the Believe Podcast Network and presented to you by FanDuel. I'm Lindsey Crosby. In the next 15 minutes, we're breaking down everything you need to know before first pitch. Today, it's the Braves and the San Francisco Giants in the series finale. So let's get into it. Both teams have put out their lineups for the game. For the Atlanta Braves, a lot of the usual suspects you would expect here. Mauricio Dubon leading off against a lefty. In left field, followed by Michael Harris in center field, batting second. Ozzie Albies at second base, batting third, and Matt Olson as the cleanup hitter at first base. Drake Baldwin is at designated hitter, back to what they usually do against lefties, with Baldwin as a DH, batting fifth. Austin Riley at third base, batting sixth. And then you get to the differences in today's lineup versus the first couple games of the series. Joey Bart behind the plate, batting seventh. Opportunity for a revenge game. He used to be a member of the San Francisco Giants. Eli White in right field, batting eighth. Some good speed and defense in that giant right field that they have. Followed by Ha-Sung Kim at shortstop, batting ninth. This is something Walt Weiss said he liked the work behind the scenes that Kim was doing, wanted to get him a little bit of consistent run. So that's what this is over the weekend. A small part of me wonders if it doesn't work out this weekend, which so far it has not, is this it for Ha-Sung Kim? We'll find out what the Braves do. On the mound for the Braves, Christopher Sale, and I hope he gets some run support, right? 8-5, 2.14 ERA. And a lot of what he's done has been pretty sustainable, right? FIP is 271, right? 28.9% strikeout rate, 6.1% walk rate. So easily that 22.8% difference is better than some of Atlanta's starter strikeout rate right now. It is the same thing that you would expect that he's always done. Slider, sinker, four-seam, and changeup. He'll lead slider, sinker against lefties. It's really a three-pitch mix with the four-seamer. Against righties, it's four-seamer and slider, little bit of sprinkled in changeups. No, knock on wood, no Giants hitter has had any sort of notable success off of Chris Sale. Willy Adames, 14 at-bats. He's hitting .071 with a .357 OPS. He does have one home run. Important to point that out. Luis Arraez, 13 at-bats, 154 average, 385 OPS. Matt Chapman's been okay. 15 at-bats, 200 average, 850 OPS, one home run, 2 RBI. He's been okay, but that's like the best of anybody on this Giants roster. Matt, and Raffy Devers, by the way, 0-for-5. So we'll see what happens for Sale today. When we mentioned Matt Chapman being the most successful hitter against Chris Sale for the Giants, manager Tony Vitello is leading into that so much that Matt Chapman is leading off playing third base, followed by second baseman Luis Arraez, batting second, Casey Schmidt in left field, batting third, Raffy Devers at cleanup and first base. Willy Adames is batting fifth at shortstop. Heliot Ramos is activated off the injured list and will be at designated hitter today, batting sixth. That pushes Young-Hoo Lee from right back into center field, batting seventh. Victor Barakoto checks in the lineup for right field, and Eric Haas behind the plate, backup catcher. I think he's technically the third string catcher, but batting ninth. On the mound for the Giants, Robbie Ray, 6-6, 370 ERA. And the way he's come about it has been really interesting. 370 ERA, but 474 expected ERA and 480 FIP. So more than a run of overperformance based off of the inputs. And when you look at the StatCast card, there is a lot of blue on this StatCast card. 21.9% strikeout rate is just below league average. His whiff rate is 25%, just above league average, right? He gets an, below average amount of chase. He's given up hard hit balls. 10.7% barrel rate is really not good at all. His ground ball rate, 34.8%, is 15th percentile. So a lot of fly balls, consequently a lot of barrels. The thing that he does best is the changeup. Now, all of this being said, he was very good against the Braves the last time out. In the resumption of the rain postponed opener in Atlanta, he took over for Adrian Hauser for the second inning and pitched 6 1/3 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. But the interesting thing here is Atlanta had stacked a bunch of guys to face righty Adrian Hauser, right? They had Drake Baldwin leading off. They had Dominic Smith in the lineup. They had Mike Yastrzemski in the lineup. Like they had a lefty or a righty optimized lineup, a right-handed pitcher optimized lineup. Do things look differently today now that they have a lineup that is prepared to face a lefty? That's the big question in this one. Notable guys to watch here on this. Michael Harris is 2 for 3 with a home run versus Robbie Ray. Ozzie Albies is 4 for 12 with a home run and 3 RBI. Mauricio Dubon, he's 2 for 6 with an RBI. On the Harris note, Harris didn't actually face Robbie Ray in that game. That's the game where Michael Harris left after the first inning and Eli White replaced him. I think it was his back, if I remember right. So Michael Harris didn't actually face him in that game. So just something to watch for there. When you look at how Robbie Ray attacks hitters against lefties, he's throwing 5 pitches, but it's really a 2-pitch mix. 51% slider, 37% four-seamer. So 88% of all of his pitches he throws are going to be slider four-seamer. And it's a pretty static mix, right? He does cut back on sliders for four-seamers a little bit when he's behind. And he does, ramp up that knuckle curve a little bit with 2 strikes. He brings it up to like 11%. But for the most part, this is slider four-seamer. Here are the 2 pitches he's throwing. Hit it or don't hit it. It's kind of how it works there. Against righties, it's similar idea, but it's a 3-pitch mix. It's four-seam, it's changeup, and it's slider. And same kind of thing. The percentages are pretty static. The only significant change is when he's ahead, he goes to more of that changeup. He takes it from like 21% to 28%, and he cuts back on the knuckle curve, which is really prevalent before he gets to 2 strikes, right? The knuckle curve is 10 to 12% usage until he gets to 2 strikes, and then it drops down to like 5%. So it's really a 3-pitch mix, four-seam changeup slider. Not a lot of changes other than more changeups and less knuckle curves when he's ahead and with 2 strikes. As far as planning for the at-bats, he's better at throwing a first pitch strike than a ball, but it's not an incredibly strong pattern here, right? His walk rate is 11% and change. So this is not like an automatic, what pitch, and it's going to be in the zone on a very first pitch of the at-bat kind of situation. That being said, he does throw a lot of fastballs on the very first pitch of the game. So maybe something to watch for from Atlanta's leadoff hitter there in Mauricio Dubon. Bullpen status for both teams. This is really, really interesting. Atlanta's bullpen is essentially completely fresh. Most guys are working on 3 days of rest. Tyler Kinley, Ian Hamilton, James Karinchak, none of them have thrown since Wednesday. They haven't appeared in this series. Iglesias, Dodd, Fuentes, and Dylan Lee all pitched on Friday, but none of them pitched very many pitches. They all had yesterday off because Grant Holmes covered the rest of the game behind Bryce Elder. So in essence, other than Hurston Waldrop and Grant Holmes, who we don't really know if they're in the rotation or if they're in the bullpen, other than those two, these guys can pitch pretty much anything. You can do any sort of combination of guys you want out of the bullpen today. Plus, you have an off day tomorrow. So things are set pretty well here. For the Giants, they've also kind of had a bullpen reset. Eric Miller, lefty setup man, closer Caleb Killian. Neither one of those guys have thrown in 2 days. So you're probably going to see them if there's a lead late for the Giants. Ryan Walker, one of their setup men, he pitched last night. It was 23 pitches, and that's his third appearance in 4 days. So he may or may not be available today. They may be hoping they can get another 6 or 7 innings out of Robbie Ray and then let Miller and Killian finish it up and not need to go to Walker. Sam Hintage's back-to-back appearances Friday and Saturday. He's worked 3 of the last 4 games. You'd assume he's probably unavailable today. And then Adrian Hauser, converted starter. He was your long man on Friday. He threw 35 pitches. He's likely also down. But other than that, the Giants have most everybody they want. So there's no specific advantage for either side when it comes to the bullpen in this one, other than the fact, again, knock on wood, that Atlanta's relievers have been pretty good in the back end this year. Your Iglesias, your Lee, your Fuentes. Things to watch for today outside of what we've already talked about. The Braves have scored 3 total runs in this series. They are 1-4 on this road trip. If there's an opportunity to score just a few runs and get a win, it is when Chris Sale is on the mound. Like, come on, this is one for a lot of reasons you've got to win today. You've got to win this one so that it's still a losing record on the road trip, but it's not a 1-5 record, right? So you got to win this one here. I am curious to see how Robbie Ray fares when it's a lineup that's kind of optimized to face him versus just one with that platoon disadvantage. And just be aware you're going to hear a lot of grunts today. Robbie Ray likes to grunt when he pitches. You're going to hear it a lot today. It's going to be annoying. Just be ready for it now. Just reminder that it's going to happen. Don't be shocked by it. Hopefully you only hear it for 4 or 5 innings and they knock him out of the game versus hearing it for like 7. Braves Today sponsor FanDuel does have the Braves as a favorite in this one. They have the over-under as 7.5 runs. So obviously the hope here is in a low-scoring game, you have to think that favors Atlanta simply because of how good that back end of the bullpen is for the Braves. You have to think that they would be favored in a close game and have the advantage, but you got to score runs first. And Atlanta didn't do it yesterday. They had 1 total hit yesterday. They only scored 3 in game 1. You've got to be better on offense. And as much as Chris Sale deserves better run support, we'll see if it happens today. So just kind of be mindful of that, right? That's your Braves Today scouting report. If you want the deeper analysis, the lineup breakdowns, everything behind the numbers, make sure you're subscribed to Braves Today. Enjoy the game. We'll be back after it with the postcast over on Locked On Sports Atlanta. And today's 3 things are written game recap over at bravestoday.com.